Thank you very much. You know, the FCT minister in person happens to be former governor, the immediate past governor of Rivers State. And as a governor of 8 years of Rivers State, which is also a state in the Niger Delta, we believe that it's well grounded with information that has to do with the Niger Delta region. But it is so disheartening that it is at this point in time we are coming to realize that it's lacking understanding in terms of statistics. For a governor that served 8 years in Rivers State to come out and say today that IJAWs are not majority in the Niger Delta is laughable. First of all, it does not embarrass the IJAW ethnic nationality, but he has ended up embarrassing himself that as a former governor is not well abreast with data and information that has to do with his region and some of those that he governed for 8 years. Come to think of it, which ethnic nationality in Rivers State, in terms of number, in terms of local government, in terms of area coverage, is competitive with the IJAW ethnic nationality in Rivers State? Then in the entire Niger Delta, you should make mention of a state that is an homogeneous state that is made up of just one ethnic nationality, apart from the IJAW ethnic nationality in the Niger Delta. So for someone to come and give unfounded stories, false stories, statements about IJAW ethnic nationality that we are not majority in the Niger Delta, maybe it is a query where he came from that is covering just 3 local governments that is the majority. By virtue of the number of flyover that he has done in Equere land, he believes that Equere happens to be the majority ethnic nationality in the Niger Delta. We have given it to him. Equere is the largest ethnic nationality. Equere owns Rivers State. Equere owns Akwa Ibom State. Equere owns Edo State. Equere is in Ondo State. Equere even is in Delta State as majority. It is very, very appalling that a leader that has served Rivers State for 8 years will come to the media under the influence of alcohol to give people false statements. It's unbecoming. Those that owns him, his parents, his mother, his father, his ethnic tribe, should caution him. Anytime they found him or they know that he's under the influence of alcohol, he's intoxicated, he should avoid the media, so that he will not put his entire family, his ethnic nationality, into ridicule and laughter. How can a full-grown man that is a minister serving under him is even embarrassing the president that made him minister of FCT? If I were Mr. President, only that statement, I will fire him, because the man in question is trying to cause havoc in his administration. Let me tell you, the people of the ethnic nationality and the Niger Delta people has been maintaining peace. It's not because of Wike. It's because we have a certain president that we need to give the leader support in order for him to succeed. So if Mr. President will not caution his alcohol-inflated minister, the IJAW ethnic nationality will have no option than to dare him and tell Mr. President and Wike that the IJAW people knows what they are doing. If they are giving you their support, they don't look back. They have decided to maintain peace, to give Mr. President the enabling environment to govern and succeed. If the FCT minister is not comfortable with that, believe you me, the IJAW ethnic nationality will help him to put the Niger Delta and the entire Nigerian nation into chaos. Don't ever come to the media when you are under alcohol intoxication. If your ethnic nationality, the Equatorial tribe, tolerates that, the IJAW ethnic nationality will never tolerate that, and we will never accept that from him. If there are some few people from the IJAW ethnic nationality that he believes he has done to his houseboys that will clap for him with all the insult he will give to the IJAW nation, does not mean that that is the position of the IJAW nation. We know ourselves, we know our strength, and we know our position. Giving you state for 8 years, maintaining peace and tranquility in order for you to succeed is the reason why you will install the joint nationality. We will not take that from you. And let this be the last, serve as the last warning that we will give to you. Don't push the Ijaw nation to the wall. Because when the Ijaw nation will react, you will not like it. And it will affect Mr. President more. As a Southern president, we have been sensitizing and reaching out to our
more hungry than any other region. They are more poor than the government people have destroyed the entire north, and that is why he moved from one place to another sharing cooked rice. You know, coming from that block, actually, you will observe that the Tinubu's political structure, both in the north and in the south and in the west, you know, is somehow very, 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 very shaky now. All the eminent voices in Nigeria, no one is giving him a voice. So in the public, like you said, you know, in the court of the public opinion, I think like Wike will look at it and say, you know, 2-0 and more goals are still coming. Well, I can tell you now, the Fubara has given federal government, Wike, and all the rest of them close to 5-0 currently now, and they've not been able to score one.
Now let me bring you the angle of Jonathan. Jonathan draw from Indian adage, saying that if somebody is sleeping, the person is easy to wake. That when somebody pretends to be sleeping, that it's difficult to wake up that person. And he was talking about the judiciary, that they are manipulating judgments. And he blasted Wike as people who are manipulating judgment. This is another pure win for Fubara in the court of public opinion. And this shows that Wike have not been listening to Jonathan.
Yeah, no, let me tell you very clearly, you know, I know, you don't need to, we know the role President Jonathan, my sister, played to make Wike governor in Rivers State. We know how loyalty he was then, you know, but just look at it from that angle. You know, the only problem is not about Wike's, the Ijaw nation, you know, of course, which is the extraction of the former vice president, whom I love, good luck, Jonathan Ebele, 24 hours, I love him. And it has become very clear that he would have been one of the best presidents Nigeria ever have, from what we are seeing now. Unfortunately, El-Rufai, Atiku, them, and the rest of them, you know, the Northerners gang up and look at the mess they have brought every Nigerian into now. So Jonathan still commands respect here in Nigeria, and of course outside the world. In anywhere he goes, he commands influence, and he's an Ijaw man, you know, and he cannot sit down there and watch a 1 week being powered by Fulani agenda and Arab Yorubas coming out to say that Ijaws are minority of the minority. There was no bomb blast. You see, I think Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as I can always say, need to understand the game he has actually played into. Whether it is deliberate, like, or just like what Goodluck Jonathan said, you know, that somebody that is pretending to be sleeping knows that he's not sleeping, you know. So for him to wake him, you know that you're already trying to wake him, but he pretends he will not go deeper. But somebody that's already sleeping, you know, when he wakes him, he wake up. What does it tell you? That, you know, the Nigerian leadership under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, APC, Fulani Lord government is pretending to be sleeping while Nigeria is being destroyed on a daily basis.
Now let us bring in the angle of the Nobel laureate talking about Professor Woloshenka, who said the other time that he waited on the Tinubu clock 1 year in office before he started criticism. After that 1 year, he kept mum up to now. But surprisingly, he came out to ask Mr. President, if for any reason what you did is supported by law, it means our laws need to be reshuffled.
And there's not a need to be diplomatic about this, Woloshenka. You know, I used to have a deep respect for him in the past, not anymore. And, you know, I can't celebrate him like the way I celebrated him a few years ago, you know, many years ago, you know. And the only respect I see want to leave for maybe 1% or 2% for Woloshenka was his stand on Biafra as at that time, or possibly even till now, if he didn't want to change as usual. You understand? But that's by the way. With this 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and this what he's saying now, what looks like he's been forced, because a lot of people were saying, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?" Bola, what are you saying? What? Before he now came out and said, you know, that he was under pressure, or like he was under, you know, he was constrained by the public quest to seek his opinion on this. And of course, that would have dwarfed more of his image within the Nigerian public image, you know. But thank God he was able to muster courage, and of course, you know, the relationship between him and Jonathan. You know how the Amechi, then Jonathan used Lobururete and Amechi and of the destabilized governors forum to an extent that he tried to call Jonathan as and Nebuchadnezzar. But he has not come out to criticize the damaging policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We see the way things went in Rivers State, where the explosions has already started.
Okay, now let's look at another area of public opinion. This time around, coming from NBA, the almighty NBA, Nigerian Bar Association. The first time they told Tinubu, what you did is not supported by law. That if this is allowed to stay, it will amount to a situation where rule of law will be a mere rhetoric.
We are looking at
a mere figure of speech.
Yeah, we are looking at a situation where a northern president is going to remove a Yoruba man in Lagos State here and plant an Hausa man as governor of Lagos State. I think that will send a serious signal to the Yoruba nation. A lot of them are not happy with what is playing out, but you know, the chief, the Minister of Justice himself, you know, has come to defend the calamity, but they don't know that everything that happened has been taken care of. It's unfortunately that whether it is under Wike influence or whatever he tends to achieve, or he just is interested in taking the resources or the money that is coming from that state, you know, he's going to use it to do one or two things, or he needed money from that state, and the only thing he can do is to do the same thing he did when he came into power and announced removal of subsidy that collapsed everything that has to do with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think that is the reason why Shetima is already running away from him anyway, you know. But if you look at it very well, Fubara did not commit any offense in that regard. I think he was trying to play along. But I can tell you now here, Bola Ahmed Tinubu have saying that everybody is condemning that action. I think they want to reduce it. And thank God for the NBA president who offered a solution. If he cares to listen.
No, he said yesterday, he said Tinubu should reverse this.
Reversing is, you know, to just save his face and save his image, or he can ask Fubara, you know, and do the Magomago and redo the Magomago they did in the Supreme Court.
He said when he saw the administrator taking oath of office, he said he was surprised because there is no provision for the oath of office and everything is illegal.
You know, I said it before now, you know, that whoever that's wearing that shoe in Asurok, that shoe does not belong to him. And whoever that is carrying injustice will have nothing to offer than injustice. He's carrying injustice already. He offers injustice. Another factor is this, you know, when injustice becomes a law, the resistance becomes a way.
Okay, now, Mr. Chidebake, we are taking attention to bombing here and there in Rivers State. About 5 days or more after the state of emergency in Rivers State, we are seeing yet another bombing of critical federal government infrastructure. This time around, a pipeline, gas pipeline operated by LNG, liquefied natural gas, under Nigerian federal government.
Of course, you should send Wike to go and start an amnesty process there in Niger Delta. Immediate effect. There's no time. He has collapsed what Musa, you know, worked for, bringing amnesty in that region. You know, but this is just a starting point. You know, I can tell you what is going to come in a few days from now. I think what the president is trying to do is to reduce. I think the National Assembly is saying, okay, from what they are seeing now, you know, Wike cannot go to there and start begging for amnesty and start begging, and president cannot go there and start. So it is purely medicine after death. So what the National Assembly are trying to do now, having suddenly, you know, seen that they have collapsed the system already, or the system is collapsing, they want to reduce it from 3 months now, 6 months now to 3 months. That's what we are already hearing.
Now let me bring this angle, because according to Vanguard, unconfirmed report having that militants already regrouping to carry out coordinated attack on critical oil infrastructure.
What we're talking about, you know, we're talking about 500,000 pipelines in Niger Delta. 500,000 pipelines. How many soldiers do they have? How many navy do they have? And as they are laying those pipelines, those guys knows what they want to do, and they have their agents everywhere. So how can they man the one in Delta State, man the one in Abia State, man the one in Imo State, man the one in Akwa Ibom State, man the one in Bayelsa State, man the one in Ondo? Well, how are they going to achieve that? They are not going to achieve anything. Wike was not deceiving Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and unfortunately, he has fell for that trap, and he's going to lose very, very soon. By the time he will realize it, like they're telling him, you don't play with, you don't know why Shetima has run away from Abuja. Nowhere to be found. The vice president is nowhere to be found. You don't know why. The silence of the Northerners on the position of the vice president currently now, it tells a lot of stories.
Okay, now let me bring this angle because there is a school of thought that believe that those who want to justify the state of emergency and perhaps to prolong it, don't forget that the president, while declaring that state of emergency, he said that for initial 6 months. So there is a school of thought that says that those who want this to justify the state of emergency, maybe they want to turn around to sabotage federal government critical infrastructure.
Of course, that is not correct. I can tell you, if he had, see, I think they were explaining the process that how we get to a party. Okay, look at the administrator now, Ibas. He said that Fubara is not rebuilding the National Assembly members 80% completion. The man was surprised yesterday. I mean, the local administrator, the army man, the
army man.
Yes, you understand. He was surprised to see that the National Assembly was, he said, he was surprised. He said, what is all this? I think the man is even tired because the pressure is going to come on him now. And all of a sudden, they released the federal allocation that he couldn't give to Fubara. Tinubu was ready on the shaky ground in Rivers State currently now. Wike ignited. You, after inviting Pandev to a meeting, telling them, okay, Pandev, go and make peace, make sure that this is settled. In less than 24 hours, Wike issued a threat to the entire IJAW nation. And the president did not call Wike to order. All of a sudden, you turn back again and declare state of emergency. Not only that, you suspended a democratically elected government like you. It is never done. This is tyrannical.
Now, there's another
this is dictatorship. And it's going to backfire. And that's what you're seeing. What you're seeing, the bombing of the pipelines is going to come, and it's a sign of protest. Nobody will say sabotage. I don't want to hear press. Nigerian media say sabotage. Now, protest, now they gap also.
So that is their own form of protest.
Of course. Can you go there now? Send Wike or send all of them, let them go and do amnesty there for the second time and see how it's going to go. And if they're going to do amnesty there, make sure that it is Wike that is going to lead the amnesty for whatever that's going on currently now as a result of illegality. You can see Fubara, surfacing in River State, Port Harcourt yesterday. You can see the flow, you can see the crowd, you can see the jubilation, you can see the respect.
Who River State was with him in that church service?
I can tell you a lot of government party loyalists were on there, elder statesmen, friends and well-wishers. Not only that, the crowd too.
But let me bring this angle, Mr. Chinedu Michael. Because just after seeing what happened in River State, APC is already issuing state of emergency threats to Osun and Kano. On one hand, Mr. Chinedu Michael, we saw the APC national chairman threatening Osun that Tinubu should declare state of emergency. In Kano, we are seeing a similar threat. Look as if this is a state grab. But the president is denying that he's not out to grab things.
No, let me tell you, that is when you surround yourself with incompetence. That's what you get.
So look as if the president is out to grab things.
The grabbing now is that the information, you see, he want to practice exactly how he governed Lagos at that national level.
Subjugation.
Yes, the dictation. Baba Sobe agenda, he can't work at the national level. Look at the way he even without following the law, he removed somebody that was constitutionally, removed, and he illegally imposed Obasa. You understand? So he has taken that agenda with all his Lagos boys who are already advising him. Okay, now the whole thing is done. Be like this now. Be ready to back. Now that's what they're saying. That it's likely that Bola Ahmed Tinubu might be the last president of Nigeria from what is going on, because by the time he begins to tell you that okay, we cannot win this thing, this is not what he is not wrongly advised, and those who are advising him wrongly are already out to bring him down. There is fear that the PDP elements in APC are the one who want to make sure they bring him down completely and be able to have that space to take over power again from the APC government, having the northern backing. Everybody is silent, So if it has gone to that level that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has become a confused person.